Hello, friends. So today let's talk about literature search. So when you're doing a systematic review or a literature review, or you're working on a review article, literature search is very important because that is where you will get all your information from. So I really like this Prisma 2020 flow diagram. Now there are many versions of Prisma. What this does is it makes your search very organized, and it also demonstrates the depth of the search you've done. And this is very useful if you include this in your manuscript for publication. And the reviewers or even the editors always expect that when you are submitting a review article or a systematic review, this chart is there, which shows how you've collected or you've gathered evidence, or how did you conduct a literature search. So if you look at this Prisma flow diagram of 2020 version, it clearly divides your literature search in terms of records identified from whether it was which database, where the number of databases you used, whether it was PubMed or Embase or Medline or ResearchGate. So this is something where you can include those. And then records removed from screening. So like for example, so once you started looking into database, maybe there was some which were not meeting your inclusion criteria, so you excluded them. And then finally, how many did you screen from the search, right? So just to revise that, before you do your literature search, you follow the PICO model of the inclusion and exclusion criteria of your literature search, that what kind of articles you want to include. And this is where you would include that what kind of articles, based on your inclusion criteria, you identified. Out of those, how many you screened, and out of those screened, how many did you exclude. And then, so usually what happens is, when you start your search, you only look at the abstracts, right? And then when you look at the abstracts, you feel that okay, this meets the inclusion criteria. So you may then look in depth. You may read the full text article, and that is where the report sought for retrieval, which means that now you are asking for a full text articles for all the abstracts which you have shortlisted. And then out of that, again, you do further scrutiny of whether this particular article is suitable in answering your particular research question. And then that is something you include here. And what were the articles which we excluded, and any particular reason behind that. And then this is your final number of studies you've included. So this is a very good chart here. Now this section is the ones you have searched from database, but there are other ways where you tend to look for articles or information, which could be websites. So I usually, what I do is, not only I look at the databases, but I also look into patient info websites, where there is loads of information in a very simple way, which even a layman could understand. So a layperson could understand. So you can get a lot of information from there, and these are the sources of information where you can include here. And the principle is the same, where how many did you screen and which were shortlisted. Out of those shortlisted abstracts, how many you potentially use, you read the full text, and how many then you shortlisted, and the reasons why you excluded. So this is how the Prisma 2020 version looks like. The one I also want to share is the 2009 diagram. Now, the reason why I am sharing this is because I think I feel this is better than the 2020 version, just for the simple reason that it is very simple. It's very precise. to the point, no duplication, it doesn't get complicated with too many columns and charts. So here you can see records identified through database, additional records through other sources, maybe websites or something else, and then you've removed the duplicates from there. That is something which you're including. The numbers you screened, that is basically the abstracts, and then the ones you excluded, and the full text articles which you assessed, and the ones you excluded, and the ones you included for qualitative synthesis. That is, again, now you first included, you check the abstracts. From there you shortlisted the abstracts, and then you read the full text of those abstracts. Out of those full text, you must have excluded some. Then the ones you included, now you are reading it in depth. So that is qualitative synthesis, that you are doing a detailed analysis. Sometimes what happens is, where even after you've read the full text, even if after you've excluded, now you are analyzing it, you're critically reviewing that, but still you would feel that, no, I think this still doesn't meet the criteria, my inclusion criteria, and this still doesn't answer the question. You can still exclude. And that is where this is what it is about. And then finally, you include studies included in the quantitative synthesis, that is meta-analysis and all. So as you can see, there is scrutiny at every stage. Abstract, then full text. Out of this full text, you are doing your analysis. Even then you are excluding some. In that full text, you are again dividing which one is for qualitative synthesis, which one is for quantitative synthesis, and that is meta-analysis. Now this section is relevant for those which is where you are doing meta-analysis, you're drafting forest plot and funnel plot and all. You can watch that in my previous videos where I've discussed about that, explained about that in detail. But again, if you're only doing a descriptive systematic review, or you're only doing a review article, then you can stop it here. Studies included in qualitative synthesis. So that is enough. But then again, if you want to go a step further, and if once you have filtered every articles, and now this is your shortlisted articles, after going through every stage of scrutiny, and then you can do meta-analysis. If you've got all the expertise and resources, you can do that. But I think this is more simplistic, and this is more clear. If you ask me, the PRISMA 2009 flow diagram, it doesn't matter which one you use. It's about getting all the information required so that your particular work is thoroughly scrutinized, and it shows that you have followed every steps possible to arrive at a proper conclusion without or reducing any information or selection bias. So this is a nice way to demonstrate that you have excluded every bias, and this is how you have scrutinized. So I hope this was useful. Please do share your comments or any feedback if you have any, and if you want to do if you want me to do any other video on any research topic which I've not covered yet, please feel free to let me know. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you again in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.